Welcome, readers. Today on Book Chat, we are going to dissect our 2021 Buddy Read titles, and we are going to give you the best and worst of this year. Stay tuned. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Amazon Music. Check it out. It has 70 million songs, thousands of playlists. You can listen without commercials. Sign up today and get your first month for free using the Shelf Addiction link. Go to getamazonmusic.com/shelf addiction and sign up today. Again, the code is Shelf Addiction. The link is also in the show notes. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and thank you for downloading this month's Buddy Read discussion featured here on the Shelf Addiction podcast. If you're new here, every week we get bookish with book discussions, book reviews, shelf bites, and more. If you're wondering what is a Buddy Read, this is a feature where Classy and I select a thriller or mystery title that we both are interested in. Then we have a candid conversation about that book or audiobook. We even discuss it in our Facebook group, Shelf Addiction Official, during a live chat. So grab a glass of wine, a cocktail, a cup of tea or coffee, whatever your drink of choice is, and settle in for this fun discussion. As always with book chats, there is a spoiler alert in effect, so you've been warned. If you enjoyed today's episode, please support this podcast by sharing it with your book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. That will really help me out, and I appreciate you for doing it. The uncut video version of this podcast is available now on Patreon. Join us there for exclusive videos, including this podcast after show. If you'd like to support the show in other ways, please consider doing that by supporting our sponsors. By supporting them, you are supporting us. Check out all of the sponsors at shelfaddiction.com/sponsors. If you've read the book or listened to the audiobook and would like to weigh in on this conversation, be sure to join the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. I hope to hear your thoughts on this discussion. Links for everything I've mentioned are in the show notes, so let's get going. We've got a lot to cover, so we are going to jump right on in. Joining me is the Buddy Read feature co-host, Classy Green from the Bookish Virtual Assistant. Welcome back, Classy.
Thank you, Tamara. How are you this fine evening?
I'm doing all right on this December windy evening. It's windy, but it's not very cold. I'll take it.
Oh, it was cold the other day for us, but good. Then, you celebrating some special things over there, looking all young. And...
It's my birthday weekend, this past weekend, and I celebrated 3 days in a row. Thank you.
Pew, pew, pew. I know we need some horns.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey. Okay. Actually, that was the best rendition I've gotten all 3 days. Everyone else be trying to sing the worst that they can sing. It's like a joke. Like, they sing happy birthday in the worst off-key, hilarious.
Yeah.
Got a few of those this weekend. I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
But 3 days, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, it was fun. Good. So we're going to do something fun today as well. You guys, we have something that we have not done before with our Buddy Reads. And I'm excited because we've been doing Buddy Reads this is our third year.
It is.
Yeah, I was looking on Goodreads and I have tagged, there are, let me double check before 35 books that we've done so far. So we are one book shy of 3 solid years of these.
Wow.
So 2 years and 11 months worth of books.
Yeah. We're officially in a relationship.
Yes. Should we change our Facebook?
Right. I think we should change our status.
I know, right?
It's no longer complicated.
I know. It's in there. We're in there. And
Right.
like Flynn.
Yes.
So what we decided, actually this was Classy's idea, and I thought it was an excellent idea to kind of just do our best and worst of the Buddy Reads of this year.
Yes. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some better years, but
yes,
the idea just came up. So what the heck?
And definitely I co-sign with Classy. We have had better reading years. And if you guys have been listening every month, you will probably already know which ones we're going to like. But if you haven't been listening all year, this is a great episode for you because you will know what you should just start reading. If you want some ideas, we have a couple. And you'll also know what you should take off of your TBR list if it's on there. Just take it off.
Girl, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. We're going to help you. It's our Christmas present to you. We are helping you. Yes.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
From us to you.
Yes. And our expert opinions, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is our opinions, but I don't know. Depends on if you determine if we're experts or not.
Right. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you trust us.
Yes.
Yep.
Believe us.
Okay. Yeah,
all right,
believe us.
Should we start with the highs? Let's talk about the highs first. Or should we do one high and then the low and then go back to a high so we can...
Oh, I like that. Okay. I like that. Let's balance it out.
Okay. So let's start with best of. So these are going to be, we have two. We're going to give one right now of, the ones that we thought were the best reads of the year of, from our buddy read list specifically. So Classy, how about you go first? Do you want to pick the first one?
Okay. I do. My first one is probably my only 5-star read from our buddy reads. It's probably yours as well, but I'm going to say it first.
I know what it is.
Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane. Yes.
Yes.
I have recommended
we talked about
book.
that a couple times this year, while talking about other books.
Yeah, because it's memorable. And that's, again, one of our markers for a 5-star read. It's memorable. It's something that we're always like comparing other books to, or someone says, looking for a good book. Oh, got one for you.
Yeah.
And this one, it was a very tough subject to discuss. It was sexual, I won't say sexual, it could be sexual abuse, but predatory, a predator, teacher,
abuse in relationships, kind of emotional abuse, kind of,
right, with teacher and student. And Darby Kane did an excellent job writing this kind of topic, because this can be a little cringy, and Lolita-ish. I think I could kind of, it can be touchy, and people cannot do this kind of plot well sometimes when it comes to writing, and she did it excellent. So that's absolutely my favorite of the year.
Yeah, I think it was brilliant, honestly. Like, it was the twist at the end I didn't expect. Mm-hmm. Which, is hard for me for them to fool me, but this author did it. She did it well. I also loved that there wasn't really a mystery about the main character, Lila. Like, we know she did something immediately. And I love it. And the rest is, well, how are we going to finagle this? What happens? Like, how does this story unravel from here?
Right. Because there was like there was a twist inside of the twist, because like you said, we knew she killed him, but then the body was moved, guys. Yeah. And that's, I don't want to give too many spoilers because we've already done it before if you want to hear it, but the body was moved and she didn't know, and she wasn't the one to have moved it. Right. So that meant somebody knew she killed him.
Well, honestly, when I first read it, like, how you did something, and then you're like, well, did I do it?
Did I?
Was he actually dead?
Right. Because was he really dead? Did he? Because I thought that too during the time when we were reading it. I was like, maybe he wasn't dead, and she thought he was dead. Yep. And he like woke up, and which added that suspense level to the story that kept me on the edge of my seat. So, I mean, stuff. And you could just tell the way we're talking. I'm smiling. It was enjoyable. It was so enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So that's one. I'm going to save my other one for after because I don't have another high one other than that one.
No.
Yeah, I have one more. And I wonder if it's the same one too.
Yes,
I guess we'll find out in a little bit. All right. Okay. So my worst read or least enjoyable for the year. And actually, I was really nice this year. No one got a 1 star this year. But there were several 2 stars to pick from.
Yeah, there were.
But I think I'm going to have to go with Long Bright River by Liz Moore. I did not love it at all. It got a 2 out of 5. And I feel like I was being generous when I gave it 2 out of 5.
Yeah, she duped us.
Yeah, it was, in my opinion, not a mystery thriller in the traditional sense. It felt more like they were aiming at a police procedural that went wrong. It didn't really hit. The main character was stupid. I can't.
To be a cop?
Yeah.
To say the least?
She's a cop. Yes. Mm-hmm. And it was not the business. I found it kind of boring. The pacing wasn't that great, if I remember correctly. And I feel like we are in the minority with this because I think it won a Goodreads Choice Award in 2020.
Yeah.
I know people loved it, according to Goodreads, right? So I know we're in the minority here, but I think if it was presented in a different way, I would have had a different mindset, and maybe it might not have been as bad. Maybe.
Right. Like we were talking about, like for her to be a police officer, she did a lot of things that a officer would not do, in my opinion, because you're trained, you do these type of things. And I mean, she did the total opposite. She walked into situations that a trained officer would not have done. And I think we discussed that maybe if she would have been like, just the sister who's
a teacher
right, who's looking for the person who murdered her sister, who thinks, I've watched enough Law and Order and CSI that I can do these type of things, but not someone who knows the law. You know, and I mean, she just did some really stupid things to the point where I was like, okay, so who is really the addict here?
Right.
Who's on drugs? Sure.
And I mean, honestly, I did not like, the sister's name was Mickey and Casey was the one that disappeared. Yeah. And I did not like how Mickey handled her sister.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all. I did not like how the author made the character seem like she was the parent to this child, and she wasn't.
Right. And we didn't find that out until like 70%, 75%.
Yeah, it was later.
Yeah, in the book. Right.
I as a person with sisters, I think, and as a person from, there are a lot of blended families all around us every day. And there's nothing wrong with saying, kids call people mother all the time that aren't their biological mother. So why would you have to lie like that? I don't understand. And that did not make me empathetic toward that character at all. It did not make me feel any sympathy about all the terrible things she's been doing. It was like one more topping on the sundae that was spoiled.
And I think we kind of like, before we realized that she was the aunt and not the mother, that we were like, she's doing some stupid to be a mom.
Right.
That's what made me think like, okay, now who's the addict? Because she was just doing some unmotherly things, but she wasn't the mom. She was just, she took the child in because of her sister's addiction. So, and I mean, I kind of got where the author was going. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I got where she was going, but I think she could have done some things a little differently. So, because I did understand how she was trying to create the tension between the two sisters. You know, one was an addict, she was a police officer.
Yeah.
You know, good sister, bad sister. But yeah, that one really disappointed me. Goodreads highly rated, award winning, and I'm just like, I don't see it.
Yeah, it let me down. So yeah. I think,
and then some of the little cliche things too, like I felt like she was checking off certain boxes, you know, especially with the Black character. Her history teacher was a Black history teacher, and she kind of mentioned her a few times, and I'm like, okay, what's the point here? You add,
was it for the sake of having a Black? Yeah, it was a Black box. It was like, oh, check. Yes, the diversity
Black
box.
History teacher who I really admired. Yeah,
who had nothing to do with anything. Right.
No, nothing.
That's what I was saying earlier. We had talked about, I think, during that conversation. Well, it would have made more sense if she were a damn teacher instead of a police officer. And then she would have some reference to have this teacher that she admired or, you know, looked up to.
Right.
And then it would also make more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was with history, you're researching, you're studying. Right. All that could have played into this story.
Yes. And then we could forgive some of the dumb shit she was doing because she doesn't know the law. She doesn't know A, B, and C because she's just a teacher. She's a regular old person.
Yep. And that, I think, you know what, you hit the nail on the head with that. There were some unforgivable things because you're a freaking officer. You don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have forgiven her a lot more if she was amateur sleuth, basically.
She was just a messed up person. And then the whole thing with her partner, like, what is happening? Like, there was just a thing after thing after thing.
That.
Yeah, it's like, that you're just a messy person.
Yeah, that she believed her messy partner over her sister, who, I mean, granted, was a crackhead or whatever drug of choice she was. But it was like blaring that this guy was an asshole and you still took him over your sister.
So there's that. So yeah, and that's funny. Now that we talk about it, like all these other details are flooding back to me about this book and this and that and this. And here I go on a rampage again that I have not let go of, clearly. And we read that in March. That was our March book.
Yeah. and the feelings remain the same.
Yes, they have not changed.
Nope. Not all right, ma'am.
So should we switch gears and go back to a nice one?
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to uptick again.
Okay. So my I guess one of my most enjoyed books of the year was Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica. It wasn't a 5-star read from me. I think it was a 4-star read from me, but it was very good. Yeah. I remember just being hooked within like the first couple of pages, like, OMG, what is happening?
Fast pace. That was
very fast.
That I would consider fast pace.
Yes.
Very, yeah.
Even though we were switching points of view, it worked. It wasn't confusing.
She did an excellent job. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember why it wasn't a 5-star, but it was damn near. Yeah. It was
really good.
Yeah. Really enjoyed that one.
I think the end we didn't love that much, like how it was kind of wrapped up really quickly with the one. I don't know, we won't want to tell you the spoiler, but the person who did some stuff was like
yeah, there was some
kind of weird.
Yeah, it was some unbelievable things that happen when you have two people living in a home that we were just like, you mean you never went to that place? Never.
Go back and listen to that podcast if you read this book, because we read that in July. So look up the podcast in July, because I remember we had a whole conversation about like, dude, if my husband had a shed in the back and if I wanted to go out there and tell him dinner was ready, I would kick the damn door open. Like, dinner's ready. I want to go in there. Yes. Like, there's no place off limits to me on this property.
Be like, my name's on the deed, sir. Hello.
Yes.
I need a key.
Yes. If anyone tells you you're not allowed somewhere, or that's their private space, I'd be trying to bust in there. The first thing, what's in here?
Oh yeah, that's signs that you possibly is married to someone who has secrets, big secrets. Not just all of us have some secrets, but those are blaring. You can't go in the room. There's something basically behind that door, and I can't go.
And that's like, isn't that like the, I guess, thriller genre rule one? If someone says don't go in the room, you go in the room. You see what's in the room.
Did he just tell me not? You're like,
right. I'm gonna do it.
Soon as he's gone, I'm getting in there. Hella high water. That's my goal today.
Yes. I'd rather go in the room and not find anything and be like, fine, I won't go in your damn room. Versus not going in the room and then discovering something dreadful later.
Right. And be that woman on the news. No, there was no signs. I never suspected anything. I mean, that person. Right. I've never been there. Oh, that's just his little playroom or his man cave.
So I go in there. If my husband got a man cave, I'd be in there. I bust up in there.
Yeah.
What's going on in here?
Like, what's up in here? And what's over there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Shoot, I walk in there and sit on the little couch. What you doing in here? Just look around.
You shouldn't be having those type of secrets.
Right. PSA, y'all. We trying to help you out.
Right. But yeah, I think that was our thing with that one. It's like, really? You never? For years, guys. That's all I'm going to say now. Go back and listen to the podcast. Years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
And I guess the good thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was saying, but it was a good book, though. It was a really good book. 4-star read, which to us is recommendable.
Yes.
3 stars is not recommendable. It was okay, but I'm not going to be like trying to have my best friend. And that's what, like, when I started rating, I was like, would I recommend this to my best friend? A 3, I would not recommend to her. But if she's, but a 4 and up, girl, you got to read this book.
Yes, it's a must read. You must do it.
Yes.
I mean, because if nothing else, you'll get pure entertainment value. I mean, like, it's hard topics, right? These subjects are kind of difficult, but she does them in a way where I feel like the shock is minimal. Like, some scenes were like, dang, what the F? And then other ways, it's like, it's more mild. Like, it's happening, something bad is happening, but you don't get every take by take, shot by shot of what's happening.
No, she leaves it to your imagination, but
yeah.
Right. Like, what's going on to the point where you're just like, I think, and she leaves you right there where you think about it.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
There was this one scene where this little girl escapes her kidnappers, and she's running, hiding from them. And you're like, oh no. And then she's in the shed. You're like, don't say anything. I'm like talking out loud. If I bit my nails, I would have been biting my nails. Like, oh my God, is he going to catch her?
Right. Because it was pitch dark in the shed, and it was just like, don't turn on the light. Please don't turn on. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. I had those moments. It was theater. Like if you were in a movie. I got that feeling with the shed when she ran into the shed and the guy chased her and was looking for her and moving stuff around. And I'm just like, don't breathe.
Don't make a sound.
Yes.
Don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So definitely recommend.
Definitely.
All right. Next up, we'll go back to the bad side. Did you have a different worst for the year than me, Classy?
I did, and because I know we have another category. I don't know if you mentioned that one yet. So I was like teetering on those, but I'll leave that one for our last category. But one of my worst was Mexican Gothic for me. I did not enjoy Mexican Gothic at all. That was a 2-star read for me. I don't know if I didn't understand the assignment of the story, but I did not like it. And I tried, and I was, I read read the reviews, and I'm like, okay, I don't get what everybody is saying about this book. Do I not understand Gothic? So, I was kind of blaming it on me that maybe I don't get Gothic. But yeah, I struggled with that book.
So you guys, if you want to find that one, you have to go onto the blog. It is not in the podcast feed because we did that we were guests on another podcast. So if you go to the blog and search Mexican Gothic, you can find the audio for that. So it's not in the Shelf Addiction feed, but another feed. But yeah, I would agree that book wasn't that great. I do have one more bad one, but we'll save it. Look, we have so many bad ones. Oh my God. So many this year. Okay.
It was sad. We were like pulling like, maybe this will be the one, maybe. And it was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. But yeah, that one, like I said, I struggled. And I put my rating on Goodreads, and one of my friends said, okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. She's like, I just didn't get, the big hype about this book. So yeah, that's probably about all I can say. Because at one point I believed I tuned out, and I just wanted to get it over with so we could do our podcast or whatever, our buddy kind of podcast we did with Colored Pages. That's the group we did it with. And yeah, I didn't like delve into it. And as you can tell from my review that I'm saying now, I can't remember too much.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of
except for mushrooms.
Except for mushrooms. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, we did a podcast swap. So they appeared on the Shelf Addiction podcast on the February podcast where we talked about Blacktop Wasteland. And I think that was another win for us for the year.
That would have been my third. Yeah.
Okay.
Between that one and Local Woman Missing, it was pretty close.
Yeah, we had a good conversation on that. I think same as you, it wouldn't be my top two, but it would probably fall into my third slot. Because our top two were, also like you, was Pretty Little Wife and, obviously Local Woman Missing. Yeah. So we had the same top three basically.
Yeah, Blacktop Wasteland. Yeah. There were a few problematic things that we kind of discussed, but I'm hoping that the author is going to grow as a writer after some of those things. But other than that, I mean, it was fast paced. It was, another one of the books that I recommend to people.
Y'all, we will find out soon because in the first quarter of 2022, we are reading another one of his books. So y'all want to make sure you're subscribed to find out if he can do it. Is he a one-hit wonder, or can he survive the sophomore slump?
Yeah.
Can he do it? Find out. Stay tuned.
Yeah. The topic is interesting, which makes me think of, that he possibly did grow.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay. So all right. Yeah, look at you guys. It's getting really scary over here that Tamara and I are on the same wavelength with our picks. I'm just saying. But we are in a relationship. We are in a book relationship. We are
exactly.
We are going steady, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So I wonder if we have similar thoughts on the biggest disappointments as well. Yeah. So for me, the biggest disappointment may not have been necessarily the worst rated book, but it was definitely the biggest letdown because it had, like we're about to do with, the guy who wrote S.A. Cosby. We're about to read another book. We like the first, will the second survive? So we did that with Hairpin Bridge with Taylor Adams. We loved his first book or that we read by him. And we were like, oh, Taylor Adams, let's read this. Yay, yay, yay. It's going to be great. And then we're like, what the?
What was he smoking when he wrote this? Okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I was highly disappointed. Highly.
Yeah. It did not. Point
I was like, no. It seemed like it was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? It's been a while. Well, it might not have been a while. It's not memorable, but it definitely was very disappointed. Very disappointing. We were looking, like you said, we were looking forward to another No Exit.
Yeah, we loved No Exit. And but although I don't think that was his first book though.
No,
so this necessarily but
this isn't a sophomore slump. This may be his third or fourth book.
Yeah. I think if I remember, my biggest issue was the format that it was told, because it's about two sisters and we'd have these stupid journal entries that slide together with the current narrative, and it's like, well, who wrote that?
Right.
Which sister wrote that? Yeah, it was. I didn't like how it was presented.
Yeah, you're right, because at one point we were confused. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was the dead sister or the main character's point of view, and the blog and her, the readers of her blog. It was just all over the place. So
yes, definitely. She had the blog. She was just doing the most. And then she was like writing some of the blog from what her sister's point of view would have been if, she's trying to solve the crime and this would have been her sister's point of view. It's like, what the? No, it's just too much.
Right. And not just that. And they were twins.
And they were twins.
They were twins, but they weren't close twins. So I think that may have contributed to the fact that if you're not close, I mean, granted, they have the twin, I won't call it telepathy, but you know how you can kind of, I think this is probably what they say twins are always kind of can finish each other's sentences and blah, blah, blah. But they weren't close.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't close. So, and people change.
Yes.
So yeah, that, we had all those little issues too. So
absolutely.
Very disappointing.
Yes, it is No Exit. So if you haven't read Taylor Adams, I think we both still recommend No Exit. It's still good.
Definitely.
And it takes place in the wintertime. So if you're in a cold climate, it will definitely creep you out. Read it now.
Perfect. Yes. A nice snowstorm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Loved it. So yeah, that was on my list too, ma'am.
Was okay. I thought, and I wonder. So the next one, I bet it's on my list too. Go ahead. What's the next one?
I have two.
Okay.
But I'm going to pick These Toxic Things was probably my most disappointed, because I enjoy this author's writing. I've read other books of hers. So I was just like, oh, yay. Tamara's going to get to read Rachel. And she disappointed me. And I was like, damn, the one book we get to read. And this is my first impression. I'm like, I just introduced you to my best friend.
Oh,
and this is what you do.
You know what? I just literally, y'all are going to understand this if you watch the Sex and the City, continuation called, what is it? And That's It or something, sex. So I watched the first 2 episodes. Side note, y'all, it's not that great, right? But I want to give it 2 episodes to try. But anyway, in the second episode, there's a funeral. I'm not going to tell you of who, but Miranda has this interaction with this woman who happens to be Carrie's like podcast boss. She's a co-host on the podcast. So they have this horrible interaction where Miranda's like basically cussing the woman out. And then she goes around the corner, sees Carrie talking to that woman, and Carrie's like, "Hey, Miranda, meet XYZ and XYZ. This is my bestie, Miranda." And they looking at each other like, I'm like, okay, that's what happened with this book. You're like, "Hey, Tara, this is great.
You
gotta
love it, Rachel. She's good." And then she gives us this one.
Yeah, and I was like,
I don't see what you see in her. I don't know what you see in her. It's like, damn. But the thing is that I didn't either. I'm just like,
damn. Okay.
Out of all the books,
yeah,
I had to pick this one. But I mean, most of her books are not standalones. She's got a few other standalones, but this was the most recent one. It had high ratings. But again, we're in the minority on the rating of this book, I believe. Can't remember what the average was.
I'm looking at it now. Right now, as of today, it's 3.84 out of 5. So that's pretty high. That's pretty, it's not over 4. I think the ones that people really love actually manage an average over 4. But I just remember not really connecting to Mickey at all, who was the main character. I had a tough time understanding her relationship with her parents and her mother's clothes and all this stuff. I'm like, what? And I love the idea of a digital scrapbook, which is also the thing she creates. But I had a hard time kind of like, I had one thing in my mind, but it almost seemed like it was too high tech for the year of the book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It didn't coincide. And then, then it threw in, at the end it threw in some COVID stuff, but it didn't jive. Like, I think we talked about that the digital, it should have been a different timeline. If she was going to use that kind of book, it should have been 2020, a little more future. Yeah. Or so, and it was just, it was all over the place. There was a couple of twists that were like awful twists. I think we could say they weren't even like good twists. Yeah. No. I'm like, oh, okay. It was nothing that was just like, oh my God, I can't believe. It was nothing like that.
Yeah, all the characters were pretty much unlikable except for the one lady who owned the diner or whatever. She was okay.
Yeah. They were pretty flat. They're pretty
flat. And again, I have a hard time with a book that like it's all about the main character. It seems like it's all about Mickey's adventure and this mystery of trying to solve this thing. And you can't even get me to like her or care about her. Or I gave 2 shits about Mickey at all. And I thought all the stuff that she's doing was like,
self-centered.
And it's funny, she like, and I even remember she referred to herself as a millennial. She's 24, but she felt different than that. She felt a lot younger than that. I mean, she felt like a 19-year-old or something to me, like, and how she approached some stuff. Like the whole thing, like how she wrecks the cars and she just gets a new Benz or whatever kind of car that was. I think it was a Benz. Oh, I had to drive my parents' Benz hand-me-down. Oh my God, how awful. She stays on her parents' property in an apartment above the garage. She's constantly borrowing her mother's designer clothes, shoes, purses. And her mother's like, don't spill anything on it. She's like, oh, I'll send it to the dry cleaner. I'm like, I cannot with this shit. Like, what is all of that? Had nothing to do with the mystery. And it really took away from what was supposed to be happening.
Yep.
So
it did. I mean, her relationship with her boss.
Yes.
And, crying to him about what he should have been doing. Because, I mean, we basically heard from, God, what was the boy's name? Trey? Dee Dee with the other, the guy, the son of the one lady. It began with a D. I can't remember his name. But he was like, you're a princess. Mm-hmm. You're basically a princess. Mm-hmm. And she even mentioned that her mom was like, if they don't treat you like a princess, then they don't deserve you. And I get that. But it got to the point where, like, no,
it was asinine.
You're way past princess level. You are spoiled brat level.
Yes. And there wasn't anything about her. Like, for example, I think of this comes to mind because I watched it in the last 6 months, right? So y'all remember Clueless, right? Cher's character was absolutely spoiled and obnoxious, but something about her you didn't hate. Something about that character was like endearing, just something. And it's like, you might not be able to pinpoint it, but you're like, I don't hate that character. She's not the worst thing, because people watch that movie time and time again. So clearly you didn't hate the character.
Right.
So I think there's a way to make someone that's very privileged and entitled not seem like an asshole. But I think the author didn't figure out the balance to make us not feel, not hate her.
Right. And right. Because the woman is being stalked. And I was like,
oh, well, stay inside, lock your doors. I don't know.
That's how right. Keep your ass in the house. We're doing
as you
this
berate your parents
your
for
business.
Not. She berates her parents for not getting the fence fixed fast enough.
Yeah. Keep your ass in the house.
I know.
Or go find your own place.
And then she finds out a secret, and she berates her mother. Like, fucking bitch. Like, damn. You are so fucking rude, man. I can't with your ass.
Right. And the secret had to do with taking care of you.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Like,
and it wasn't like you discovered this when you were a teenager. You discovered this as a full grown adult.
Supposedly.
Who should know, what they did was pretty honorable. Yes. But
no.
She went.
She lied to me. That's all I care about. Like, shut up. Like, there's nothing redeemable about that character at all.
Ungrateful. She was ungrateful.
Yes.
Ungrateful.
How about you take your ungrateful ass to your own apartment that you pay for, and hey, give me back my fucking car since you're so angry about it being a hand-me-down Benz. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my God.
Let's see what kind of designer clothes and car you can drive on your own salary, man.
I know. And see how you see how we're talking about this book. I feel like those segments took over the book, and not in a good way.
No.
It retracted from everything we were supposed to be focusing on, because every time we came back around to these family matters, it's like, ew, I don't like anything about her. So,
because her parents were good people.
Yeah.
Her parents, her uncle, they were good people who had a secret that should have been kept for this young child. Granted, they could have told her when they got older, but it seems like they realized we created a damn monster.
I know.
Let's just keep this facade going as long as we can.
Let's just hold it tight to the vest, because she can't handle anything.
No. And they proved themselves. It proved right. So.
But guess what she did do? When her mother says, stay out this drawer, she opened the drawer. Stay in my room. She go in the room.
My mama would say, go on in there if you want to. You're going to see something you don't want to see.
Exactly.
When it comes,
look, we talked about this in that podcast, y'all. That was October of this year. You don't go in anything that belongs to your mother unless she tells you go into that purse, look in the right pocket, and grab that. It's right there.
No, I'm bringing here. Here go your purse.
Oh, here, I didn't see it. Bring it to here. Look, here's your purse.
Here you go.
All 20 pounds of it. Here's your purse.
Thank you. And like you said, unless she told me, go in my wallet, give me the $20 that's behind the coupon.
Yes.
You mean a secret compartment?
Yes.
Other than that, like, go get some money.
No. Anytime we got instruction, it was very detailed.
Yep.
She knew where her stuff was.
There were times I swear I was so afraid to go in my mother's purse because I thought that I was like, something's going, because she's don't go in my purse. But, you know, she just put that fear of God in me about going in her purse, that I feared that something was going to snap my hand. Like there was a rat trap or something. Yes.
Yeah.
For the longest. I'm like, I'm not going in there. Like she had a booby trap for me.
Dude. So like, I guess I'm to the point now where I'm more open to talk about it, but y'all might not know, but my mom passed like in the last couple of months. And I was going in her room to like clear out her stuff. You know how anxious I felt about opening those drawers? I was like,
see, you still have it.
I'm like, I gotta open these drawers. What's in there?
I don't know if I want to see it's in there.
Yeah. So I mean,
right.
That is how you supposed to feel about your parents' stuff. Stay out of it. Not this hoe. She I just can't.
As my niece said, my mother-in-law, she was like, she was still a woman. Enough said.
Yeah.
You don't have to say nothing else. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, you damn right. I said, matter of fact, I think I'm going to leave my kids something. I'm just kidding.
Go in there. You might regret it.
Go in there if you want to.
Right. If you want to. But anyway, also, I could not relate to her at all. Get the heck out of here. At all. Oh my God.
I see you going through your mom's stuff. You're just like.
I know. Like, let's make sure there's nothing in there. Although I did find a couple of things. Also, ooh.
That's what I'm talking about. I want to leave some memories.
A couple written notes. You'd be like, ooh.
Mother.
Oh my gosh. But you don't find my journals. They're going to be like, ooh.
He's like, don't you want to leave those kind of memories? You know, like, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna leave this right here.
Stuff so people can talk about. Let's leave something to talk about. Yes,
right here. So I did have another one on my biggest disappointment list, and it's another one that was a second time around author. Like we liked one book, so we wanted to read again.
Ooh.
And again, like I said, not all of these have to have the lowest rating, but it's about the biggest disappointment. And that's The Escape Room by Megan Golden. I ended up rating this a 3 out of 5. So it wasn't like the worst book ever, right? But it on the scale of disappointment, it was pretty big.
It was. I was really excited too, waiting like, okay, when am I going to get that feeling of Night Swim?
Yeah.
But it didn't. And I can't remember, like, I think this was written before Night Swim, right? So I think she got better because Night Swim, I think, is after. So she did improve, in my opinion, as an author, but I believe I can tell you're looking it up. But yeah, it was.
The Escape Room was 2019. The Night Swim was 2020.
Okay. So I was disappointed too. But again, if we would go with the years, she did improve as an author with her writing. But yeah, that was a disappointment for us.
And because of that, though, I think if she had something out that had a lot of buzz behind it, I'll probably try it one more time because it will be newer. And if she is
because on we went out of sequence,
right? Yeah,
we went out of sequence, unlike Riley Sager.
We gave him a lot of tries, I feel like. Because
no more Riley.
Right. He's a hyped author, right? Like it seems like everyone and their mother, his marketing team is on point. That's what it is. They send these books around. Everyone on Instagram is making the perfect photos, raving about it. They know damn well they ain't read that book or they read a couple chapters.
Yep. Just to give it just enough to say, like that little sense of excitement about it.
Yes.
Or to be able to write a sensational piece to make people seem interested. But no, there's no way.
No, he is very overhyped. And you know what? I never say never. He might write something that I think is amazing in the future, but I just don't know if I have the patience to get there and find out, because I'm just not going to keep subjecting myself to it.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoy my first read, which I believe is his first book, was Final Girls. And I enjoyed it. It was his first book. But then after that, it was kind of like, and it just kept getting worse. You know, the further I got down, or I won't say it kept getting worse. I started realizing his writing style wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, because he writes from a female point of view and it's not done right. You know,
yes.
It's like, what woman are you talking about? Because women don't do that.
No.
Well, the women I know don't do that.
Now, this is, we're kind of off topic, but I did like The Last Time I Lied. I think I gave that a 4, but that was it. And then it was disappointment with Lock Every Door, and then Home Before Dark. I was like, okay. I don't know if I want to keep doing this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we did get a little bit off topic, but
we did.
We were just kind of saying some authors we give second tries. You know, we try and say, okay, let's try them again. You know, they did good with this one. And Meg Golden, if she does, I'm willing to try her again for a more recent book.
Yeah.
But Escape Room was disappointing.
Yes.
Because it wasn't an escape room, guys. To me, it wasn't an escape room. If you've ever been in an escape room adventure, there's things you need to do to unlock certain pieces. And I think that was a missing piece in this story. They were just basically locked in a room, and there were like little clues, but nothing was like revealed, or, they were, I don't know.
It was weird. It wasn't a real escape room. Not really.
No.
The focus was wrong. She tried it though.
She did. And she improved with Night Swim. So we recommend Night Swim, guys.
Yes, Night Swim was good.
Yeah. So we gave you like our top, and then we gave you guys some other recommendations that we read the previous year. So we gave you guys a lot tonight.
I know.
In this little space. Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you guys have been riding with us this year, I would love to know, which of these 12 books, you can go on the blog and find all 12 books. It's under the tag Buddy Reads. Let us know which were your favorites, which ones did you not like, would not recommend. Let us know. Do you agree or disagree with, what we're sharing? Definitely join us on Shelf Addiction Official, and you can be in on the jumpstart for 2022 and start reading with us there and hear what we have to say, and possibly do book club if you're into that, or just listen to us and be like, y'all crazy, or I love you, you're right. I'm cool either way. Yeah,
we'll enjoy your company regardless.
Yes, absolutely. All right, I think that was fun. What do you think?
I think so too. We did this within a nice amount of time. Quick reviews, recommendations, fun bookish stuff.
Good stuff. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed our end of the year. Oh, as I'm pulling my hair out with my nails. I hope you enjoy this end of the year wrap up for us. Best and worst. If you want us to do this again, definitely hit us up on social media. Let us know you listened to the episode and you liked it. We would love to hear from you. And I think we do have one more episode that airs with the two of us this year. But if you don't, catch it on time, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And we will see you in 2022. Take care, guys. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review, or like this episode on your favorite podcast player. It seems so simple, but it really helps me out. You can share this podcast with other book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. You can also join the Shelf Addiction Patreon family. For as little as $2 a month, you will help us produce even more awesome content for your ears. You can also consider joining the Shelf Addiction official Facebook group, where we talk all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. You can also reach us via email at info@shelfaddiction.com. Thank you for listening.